So this is Baruch here, and you're finding me at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. We've been learning over here some really fantastic things that we can do. First, the concept of silence, along with the concept of nothingness. The figure, the ground, which I called it the Gestalt. In psychology, it's called the Gestalt. But here he's really focusing on what is not manifest, because it's just the way that Hashem made the world. That the manifest, that is what you can see and perceive, is only possible appearing in the world of the unmanifest. And then Rabbi Mimran went into the concept of the yichud, combining your name, your Hebrew name. If you don't have one, get one. Find it. With the name of God, Yud-K, Vav-K, and understanding the name of God is alive. It's not just something you tack on the wall. So there's much more to be learned about that, of course. So let's come over. Let me see if we can bring it down a little bit and still stay in the game here. This is the second Yichud, uniting Havayah, that's Yud-K, Vav-K, and the name Adnut, which I pronounce Adni. People say different names, but we don't replace it. We don't say it as it is written. He says, this is what we're saying right there. This is the Safnaf Paneach. It's the name of a sefer. The intellect which is in the soul of a man has the power to conceptualize. But in truth, it cannot do this unless it's attached to the mind of the Creator, since it is that which brings it out from its potential to its actuality. So that, in a way, is telling you the name Yud-K, Vav-K. Yud-K, Vav-K, by Kabbalists, could be understood as explaining how nothing becomes something. Now, once it ponders on the Creator, it will understand things in their correct form. And then he will become similar to the angels and know himself in the true way. That's a Safna Paneach. It's an idea of hiddenness. So the Kabbalistic meditation unifies the Holy One, blessed be He, with His divine presence. Look at the words together here. We have a phrase in Hebrew, is the yichud of kudsha b'richu v'shkinte. So that is the uniting of a Kodesh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, with His divine presence. This is the concept of uniting male and female. The Kabbalistic meditation unifies the Holy One, blessed be He, with His divine presence, which is the Shekhinah, also known as Malchus. The Hebrew word for the divine presence is Shekhinah, which literally means that which dwells. The Shekhinah is a very important concept in Judaism in general. When God allows His Shekhinah to rest in a certain place or situation, it is as if He were giving us a hand with which to perceive the experience of the divine. Now again, when God allows His Shekhinah to rest in a certain place or situation, it's as if He were giving us a hand. He's helping us with which to receive the experience of the divine. This is represented by the last letter He of the Tetragrammaton, or the Yud-K, Vav-K, the Havayah, which we call the Havayah. The last letter is the place of the manifestation of the Shekhinah. He says here again, the Kabbalists teach that the Shekhinah represents the same level of divine as this final He. Therefore, when this meditation speaks of uniting the Holy One, blessed be He, and His Shekhinah, Yichud Kudsha B'richu V'shkinte, it is speaking of uniting the levels of the Vav and the He. Now, I'll try to understand this. Picture in your mind the letters Yud, K, Vav, K, but one on top of the next. And how it is that, in fact, that the Vav then is in between and receiving bounty, what we call Shefa, from the He that's up above it, and it's connected also to the He that's down below it. So that He down below is the place of the Shekhinah, which is the manifestation of God's presence. So one blessed be and the Shekhinah is speaking out of uniting the levels of the Vav and the K. That's the Kudsha Barichu V'Shchinte. Kudsha Barichu is the letter Vav. The arm reaching out to us and the hand that God gives us so that we receive. So this is the whole process, is that the light of nothingness becomes more and more clothed as it moves down and ultimately manifests itself in a final letter, which is the A, which is more physical and which relates to us. Indeed, some versions of this meditation state explicitly that the Vav and the K are being united. Observing a commandment allows us to unite the male and female aspects of God's presence in the world. Now, this is a very simple Kabbalah. It's the idea of uniting the male and the female aspects if you're married. And one of the reasons why Kabbalists really like you to be married because the knitting together of male and female in this world. Excuse me, I have a little cold, so it's affecting my voice. So before we can take it from him, we must have a vessel with which to hold it. I think I might have got it that way. No, we'll just read it out and I'll worry about my voice later. We must have a vessel with which to hold it, a hand with which to receive. So that's the final letter, Hey. The way we do this is by making ourselves receptacles for the divine. We can make ourselves into that. God gives us the hand with which to receive the divine, but we must bring it together with the outstretched arm. What's the outstretched arm? It's the concept of the letter Vav. The goal of the commandments is to unite the Vav and the K. That is the male aspect, which is the letter Vav, and the female aspect, which is the letter K. When we see the above meditation, we should bear in mind that we are receptacles of the divine. Try to feel the great hollow inside yourself that can be filled only by God's essence. And I'm going to read it again. Try to feel the great hollow inside yourself. In other words, look at yourself and the emptiness of yourself that can be filled only by God's essence. And more than anything in the world, yearn that this hollow be filled with the essence of God. This is Baruch Fleischman. That's Rabbi Mimran. This is the Tikkun Elevator Kola.